Okay, let's start with an image. Close your eyes just for a second. Picture the relentless hum of a really busy Indian city. You know, the rickshaws weaving, markets absolutely packed with life, that constant motion.
Yeah. Or maybe think about a farmer out in Punjab, perhaps, totally dependent on fuel for that irrigation pump, bringing crops to life.
Exactly. Every single part of daily life for, what, 1.4 billion people, it's all tied fundamentally to energy.
Absolutely fundamental.
But right now, that connection, it's slap bang in the middle of this, well, high-stakes geopolitical chess match.
It really is.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into India's pretty unwavering commitment to getting energy for its people. We're talking about their big strategic move, buying oil, specifically Russian crude, wherever it's cheapest.
Right. Even with all the global pressure, the U.S. tariffs looming, it's quite something.
It is. This isn't just another news headline. It feels like something major playing out right now. Global consequences. So our mission here in this deep dive is to sort of peel back the layers. We want to look at the economics driving India, the pretty sharp diplomatic talk flying around.
And those clever payment systems they're setting up to get around the usual channels.
Yeah. And what it all means, you know, for global trade, for sovereignty, and honestly, maybe even for your own daily life, indirectly.
It connects more than you might think.
We're going to explore why India's choice isn't just like a national policy. It's a really critical factor shaking up the whole global energy picture. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so the first thing that really jumps out is just how clearly India has stated its case. It's all about national interest, plain and simple.
A textbook case, almost, of a nation putting its core needs first.
Exactly. Despite all the background noise, the shifting alliances, the external pressures.
And when we say core needs, for India, that number one priority is energy security. For 1.4 billion people, it's hard to even wrap your head around that scale.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the world's third largest oil importer, consuming roughly 5 million barrels every single day.
Wow. And that's not just a statistic, is it? That's the actual lifeblood keeping a massive, fast-growing economy running.
Precisely. Take that away or make it prohibitively expensive, and the whole system just grinds to a halt.
You have to think about the human side, too, right? It's not just big policy decisions.
Absolutely crucial. Think about those markets in Mumbai you mentioned. Thousands of vendors, small businesses relying on generators when the power flickers. That's their livelihood.
Or those farmers in Punjab. Affordable fuel for irrigation. That's not a luxury, it's survival. It's the nation's food supply, in part.
For them, energy is immediate. It's essential. It's not abstract at all.
And the Indian government is spelling this out. Their ambassador to Russia, Vinay Kumar, just said it on August 24th, 2025. Indian companies will buy oil wherever it's cheapest, period.
Yeah, he put it very directly. Our objective is clear. Ensuring energy security for 1.4 billion people. That's the mandate.
A national imperative, basically. No ambiguity there.
And interestingly, Ambassador Kumar also made the point that India's cooperation with Russia and others actually helps stabilize the global oil market.
Okay, that's interesting. That sort of pushes back against the narrative you sometimes hear in the West, doesn't it?
It does. The argument is that by buying up significant amounts of Russian oil, India prevents that oil from either being shut in, which is costly and difficult for Russia, or dumped onto the market at even lower prices.
So if India didn't buy it, the market could become even more volatile, causing bigger price swings for everyone.
That's the idea. India's consistent demand acts as a kind of shock absorber. It helps prevent those really extreme peaks and troughs in global prices, even while getting a good deal itself.
That adds a layer of complexity. Okay, so India's laid out its rationale. National interest, economic stability, even global market stability. But obviously there's been pushback. What's the U.S. response been? They haven't just watched this happen.
Oh, far from it. We're seeing a pretty major geopolitical countermove. The Trump administration has, well, doubled tariffs on Indian goods, up to 50%.
Doubled, wow. 50% is huge.
It is. And on top of that, there's an additional 25% tariff specifically aimed at India's imports of Russian crude.
Okay, so directly targeting the oil trade. When did those kick in?
They're set to take effect very soon, August 27th, 2025.
That's incredibly aggressive. What's the official justification coming out of Washington for hitting India so hard?
The stated reason is that these oil purchases are indirectly funding Russia's military actions in Ukraine. That's the official line.
Right, a direct attempt to cut off funds, essentially, using trade pressure.
Exactly. But the fallout for India could be massive. Some analysts are saying these duties could put around $8 billion worth of Indian exports to the U.S. at risk.
8 billion. That's a serious economic threat.
It's a huge number for any country.
So how's India reacting publicly? Ambassador Kumar, External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, what are they saying about these tariffs, these accusations?
Their response has been firm, very firm. Ambassador Kumar called the tariffs unfair, unreasonable, and unjustified straight away.
Strong words.
And then you have Minister Jaishankar speaking at that Economic Times Forum on August 23rd. He gave a really sharp rebuttal, essentially called out the U.S. for, claiming to be pro-business while penalizing India for what he sees as legitimate trade.
Yeah, I saw reports of that. He wasn't holding back, was he?
Not at all. He basically said, look, if you have a problem buying oil or refined products from India, don't buy it. Nobody forces you to buy it.
Wow.
He pointed out that Europe buys, America buys. So you don't like it, don't buy it. It's a very clear message about economic sovereignty. India makes its own choices.
A very direct challenge. And in saying that, what's the double standard they keep bringing up? They clearly feel singled out.
Yeah, the key part of their argument. They point out that the U.S. hasn't hit other countries with similar penalties.
Yeah.
Especially China.
Which imports even more Russian oil than India does.
Yeah. Exactly. China is the biggest importer globally. So Jaishankar highlights this inconsistency, and it feeds this feeling in India that they're being made an example of, like a punching bag in a bigger game.
That perceived unfairness, that selective pressure, definitely fuels their resolve, I imagine.
Without a doubt. It makes it harder to just back down.
Okay, let's pivot to the pure economics then. Why is Russian oil so attractive to India right now?
I mean, the numbers are wild. Before 2022, it was tiny, like 100,000 barrels a day.
Barely a blip on their import radar.
And now, by 2025, it's shot up to almost 1.8 million barrels a day. That's a seismic shift.
It really is. And the logic is pretty straightforward, economically speaking. Russia, facing Western sanctions, needed new customers urgently, so they offered deep, deep discounts.
The bargain basement effect.
Pretty much. And for India, that was, well, a win-win. They get this heavily discounted crude, which helps them keep petrol and diesel prices stable at home. That protects consumers, protects businesses from inflation.
Which is crucial for keeping their own growth engine running. Absolutely. And let's be frank, it also meant much healthier profits for Indian refineries. Companies like Reliance, Nayara Energy, which remember is nearly half owned by Russia's Rosneft anyway.
Right, so there's a direct corporate benefit too. It's not just about the pump price for consumers.
It lines up across the board. Cheaper input, stable domestic prices, better refinery margins.
So beyond these immediate wins, cheaper fuel, refinery profits, are there any long-term risks India is taking on by leaning so heavily on Russian supply? Or does their famous multi-alignment foreign policy kind of balance that out?
That's the key question, isn't it? Over-reliance on any single supplier is always a risk in the long run. Geopolitics shift, things change.
Sure.
But India's whole strategy of multi-alignment, maintaining good ties with the U.S., Russia, Europe, the Middle East, everyone is designed precisely to avoid that kind of dependency. They're still buying oil from the Gulf and other places.
So the Russian surge is more opportunistic, taking advantage of market conditions rather than putting all their eggs in one basket.
I think that's a fair way to see it. They're maximizing a current advantage while keeping other options open. That diversification gives them flexibility.
Which brings us neatly to that core idea, sovereignty and strategy. India sees itself as a major democratic power, and it fiercely guards its right to make its own decisions.
Absolutely. Giving in to U.S. demands on something this vital energy security would be seen as a major sign of weakness, both at home and on the world stage. It would undermine their image as an independent player.
And this multi-alignment thing, it's not new, is it? They've been doing this for years.
For decades. It's about engaging with everyone, U.S., Russia, China, Europe, not to pick a side, but to keep India's options open economically and strategically. It's pragmatic. Avoid getting boxed in.
And they often talk about the long history with Russia. Minister Jaishankar called the India-Russia relationship the steadiest since World War II recently.
Yeah, it goes way beyond just oil. Defense ties, technology cooperation. It's a deep, long-standing partnership. That history adds weight against simply bowing to external pressure.
Okay, but it's not just principles or history, is it? There are practical reasons why Russian oil works well for them.
Oh, very practical. A lot of India's refineries are actually set up, technically optimized, to process heavier, high-sulfur crude oil, or what they call sour crude.
Like the Urals blend from Russia.
Exactly. Which is chemically quite similar to the grades they've traditionally bought from the Middle East, from the Persian Gulf.
So if they suddenly had to switch to buying, say, lighter, sweet crude from somewhere else.
It would mean big adjustment to the refineries, retooling, changing processes. It's expensive, it takes time, and it would definitely hit their efficiency and profitability.
Yeah.
Ultimately, those costs could get passed on.
So sticking with Urals or similar grades makes sound technical and financial sense for their existing infrastructure.
It fits their system well.
And then there's the money. How are they actually paying for all this Russian oil with all the sanctions swirling around?
Right, that was a huge hurdle.
Mm.
But Ambassador Kumar confirmed they've got a working system now. They're settling trades in their own national currencies.
So Indian rupees and Russian rubles, bypassing the US dollar completely.
That's the mechanism. It allows them to sidestep the Western financial sanctions and keep the oil flowing smoothly. It ensures payments get made without involving U.S. banks or the dollar system.
That's quite an innovation. Does that open up other trade possibilities too?
Potentially, yes. Once you have that rupee-ruble channel working for oil, it could theoretically be used for other things. India might see opportunities to boost its exports to Russia, maybe electronics, cars, pharmaceuticals paying in rupees, further balancing their trade.
Interesting. A way to turn a challenge into a broader opportunity. Okay, so looking forward, India seems resolute. Their external affairs ministry is talking about taking all actions necessary to protect national interests.
That definitely sounds like they're digging in. It hints they might not just absorb these tariffs passively.
Could we see retaliatory tariffs from India on U.S. goods? Or maybe them doubling down on trade with other partners, like the BRICS countries?
Both are possible. They could target specific U.S. imports where it might hurt, or they could accelerate deals with other economic blocs to show they have alternatives. This chess game isn't over. We should probably expect more moves.
And for you, listening to this, wherever you are, maybe Des Moines, maybe Dublin, India's choices here actually matter.
They really do. When a massive economy like India manages to secure stable, affordable energy, it has a knock-on effect. It helps keep a lid on global inflation, including potentially the price you pay at the pump or for goods in the store.
Conversely, if India faced a huge energy price shock or major disruptions, that would send ripples everywhere. We're all connected in this global market.
Absolutely. So this deep dive, really, it's about watching a major nation assert its right to decide what's best for its own people.
Standing up to immense pressure from a superpower, charting its own course, it's pretty fascinating to watch unfold.
It really speaks volumes about how global power dynamics are shifting and the importance nations place on economic sovereignty today.
So let's try and wrap this up. What we've seen is India's energy policy isn't just policy. It's driven by this non-negotiable need to fuel 1.4 billion lives and a growing economy.
And they're defending that choice not just as a national interest, but weirdly, almost as a global one too,
Yeah.
by arguing it helps stabilize markets, even while facing down these huge U.S. tariffs.
It's an incredibly complex balancing act they're pulling off. High stakes, high pressure.
Very few nations could even attempt it, let alone sustain it like this.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on, doesn't it?
Hmm.
In a world this interconnected, economically tangled, how much power does one superpower, even the U.S., really have to force another major nation's hand on fundamental economic needs?
Yeah, especially before that pressure starts backfiring and actually undermining global stability rather than reinforcing it. Where's that line?
Or maybe put another way, how do countries square their, let's say, moral positions or alliances with the cold, hard, practical needs of keeping the lights on and feeding their people, especially when conflicts erupt elsewhere?
It's a tough balance. No easy answers there. But it's a question India, right now, is forcing the entire world to think about very, very carefully.